What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
Hold on. Here. Hold on.
All right. Congrats, Rachel.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable.
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
And if you disagree with this,
picture this. The most famous fairy tale in movie history is barreling toward a grand March 21st, 2025 premiere. Yet the only thing anyone can talk about is how a single episode of South Park turned that dream into a 5-alarm blaze for Disney. For a hot minute, the remake looked enchanted. Fresh off her award-winning turn in West Side Story, 19-year-old Rachel Zegler landed the lead and was hailed as the perfect face for a new generation of princesses. Press releases bragged she would bring heart, humor, and modern relevance to the role Walt Disney first animated back in 1937. Shoot schedules locked. Gal Gadot signed on as the evil queen. Insiders whispered about lavish sets, sweeping musical numbers, and a runtime just shy of 2 hours, long for a fairy tale, but Disney swore the spectacle would justify every minute. Then Rachel started talking. In junkets and red carpet chats, she called the cartoon prince kind of a stalker, joked that the original movie hasn't aged well, and said her Snow White won't be dreaming of true love, she'll be dreaming of power. Those comments detonated online. Longtime Disney buffs accused her of trashing a classic. Culture war pundits framed the casting of a Latina actress in a role literally named Snow White as proof Disney was virtue signaling itself into oblivion. Hashtags like #NotMySnowWhite and memes mocking Snow Shite trended for days. The studio tried to steady the ship by teasing gorgeous concept art and a first-look trailer, but every new clip only refueled debate about computer-generated dwarfs, rewritten plots, and whether the prince would even appear. Just when chatter felt like background noise, Trey Parker and Matt Stone stomped in. Their 2025 DI special, a sequel of sorts to 2023's viral Panderverse movie, devoted an entire act to lampooning Disney's remake. Rachel's cartoon doppelganger barged onto sets, hijacked scenes, and dropped sanctimonious rants almost word for word from her real interviews. The resemblance wasn't subtle, it was scorched earth satire. Clips from the special exploded across TikTok and X within hours. Side-by-side edits compared the parody to actual press junket footage, and the overlap was uncanny enough to leave even supporters squirming. Viewers either cackled in vindication or called it a misogynistic pile-on, but everyone, fans, haters, mainstream outlets, hit replay. Inside Disney headquarters, the mood swung from anxious to frantic. According to entertainment reporters, PR teams were ordered to lock down Rachel's social feeds. No tweets, no Insta stories, no late-night interviews. Even a rumored SNL performance vanished from the spring calendar, officially scheduling conflicts, unofficially a desperate bid to stop her from pouring gasoline on the fire. The clampdown backfired. Paparazzi videos of Rachel sidestepping questions at LAX went viral, fueling fresh speculation that Disney had gagged its own star. YouTubers pounced, dissecting every airport clip and fretting eyebrow. Meanwhile, the corporate headaches multiplied. Disney Plus reported a 700K subscriber dip in fiscal Q1 2025, its first net loss since launch, and analysts linked part of the churn to content fatigue and culture war blowback. CEO Bob Iger, already juggling Marvel reshoots and the Daredevil show's ballooning budget, now faced headlines blasting Disney's Snow White panic.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I watched it for the first time in probably 17 years.
Nothing has brought me greater joy than watching the Walt Disney Company absolutely panic over the last few weeks. They're mad at South Park because they're making fun of their woke ideologies, constantly race swapping or religion swapping everything in their movies.
Back on set, things weren't prettier. Rumors swirled that Gal Gadot and Rachel barely spoke during late 2024 reshoots, and that entire sequences were trimmed after test audiences found the heroine preachy. One leak claimed production had burned through an extra $40 million on mid-course corrections. Even the CGI dwarfs became a lightning rod. Advocates for actors with dwarfism blasted Disney for shutting us out while paying full-size performers to wear motion capture rigs. A Little Women, LA cast member hammered the studio in March, saying the choice felt like erasure rather than progress. Every controversy fed the next. South Park's parody reframed the debate from "Is Disney being inclusive?" to "Is Disney cynically pandering?" Opinion pieces asked whether modernizing classics means disrespecting them. Comment sections boiled. Some cheered the push for broader representation. Others accused Rachel of arrogance for dismissing romance as passé. Behind closed doors, lawyers reportedly poured over Rachel's contract. Her team believed the studio's sudden press blackout breached clauses guaranteeing visibility during rollout. While no lawsuit hit the docket, whispers of legal options underscored how fractured the partnership had become. Disney's board held near daily meetings, according to insiders, debating everything from another release delay to quietly re-editing scenes to soften political overtones. Each new plan clashed with mounting costs and a release calendar already choked with franchise sequels. Yet the outside world only saw silence, and silence shouted louder than any press tour. Pundits framed the hush as proof Disney had lost faith in its own star. Memes of a cartoon Snow White holding Mickey's duct tape rolled across timelines. South Park's creators smelled blood. At fan events they teased, "Maybe we're not done with fairy tales," hinting the DI special could spawn another sequel if the saga stayed juicy. Bloggers hyped the possibility of Bob Iger himself getting the satirical treatment, Disney's nightmare scenario. All the while, box office trackers adjusted forecasts downward. Early in 2024, insiders predicted a billion-dollar haul. By spring 2025, financial outlets projected a $115 million loss, even with global marketing. Investors fretted that one misfired princess might torpedo appetite for Lilo and Stitch. The cultural tug-of-war grew only fiercer. One camp framed Rachel as a young woman bravely pushing for updated female agency. The other saw a superstar sneering at tradition, then crying foul when fans pushed back. The South Park episode crystallized that clash into viral shorthand: progress versus nostalgia in 12 savage minutes. Yet amid the chaos, a stranger storyline emerged. Some nostalgic viewers began rooting for Disney to right the ship, not out of love for corporate giants, but out of sentimental attachment to the 1937 milestone. They wanted to believe the studio that once defined magic could still deliver. Disney's marketing pivoted again. New TV spots trimmed activist quips, amped up romance beats, and blasted a power ballad duet between Rachel and the prince, hoping to win back skeptics. Commenters instantly compared those ads to Rachel's earlier no love story remarks, calling the makeover damage control in real time. So, can the film still win? On paper, the ingredients are alluring. Gadot's villain swagger, Oscar-winning songwriters Benj Pasek and Justin Paul crafting fresh tunes, and production design dripping with old Hollywood glamour. But modern audiences rarely separate art from the noise surrounding it, and that noise now roars louder than any show-stopping finale. If Disney delays again, it risks cementing the perception of panic. If it stays the course, South Park could drop another grenade just days before opening weekend. Either route court's disaster. And for Rachel, who began this journey vowing to inspire little girls worldwide, the fairy tale may hinge on how gracefully she navigates the tightrope between conviction and humility. One thing is certain: the fairest one of all now stands at the center of a culture clash bigger than any dwarf-filled cottage. Hollywood insiders see the project as a cautionary tale about juggling legacy IP, social activism, and audience sentiment in an era when memes spread faster than official trailers. And that brings us back to the magic mirror. Will it reflect a triumphant reimagining that bridges generations, or will it reveal the vanity of a studio that forgot why people fell in love with Snow White in the first place? We're weeks from finding out, and the stakes, creative, financial, cultural, couldn't be higher. Until then, keep one eye on Disney's press feed and the other on South Park's Twitter, because the next twist in this saga might drop without warning. Tap subscribe, hit that bell, and stick around. The fairy tale firestorm is only just beginning.